We now return to Toronto's Kensington Market for a conversation with the Prime Minister.
A globe-trotting Prime Minister hit the road to sell Canada as a trading partner across the Pacific,
Justin Trudeau,
standing up to a growing and belligerent superpower.
We're going to continue to be here in the Indo-Pacific in a broad range of ways, including increased defense investments, more diplomatic engagement, more trade and investment relationships. China is an increasingly important global economic power, but it's also an increasingly challenging or disruptive global economic power. Obviously, everyone in China should be allowed to express themselves. There will be things we will disagree on. We're going to continue to ensure that China knows we'll stand up for human rights, we'll stand with people who are expressing themselves.
There was a situation on the sidelines of the G20 summit where there was an interaction between you and the Chinese president, which many people said sort of exposed a rift that the two countries had. How did the relationship get to such a low point?
I don't know. Obviously, there have been tensions over the past many years. Do we point to the Michaels first and hostage diplomacy or coercive diplomacy as a part of the low point? Do we talk about many of the allegations of interference in so many different parts of our lives? The Chinese-Canadian community is consistently facing tensions and stresses from the Chinese government. There are long and many reasons why there is tension there, and as I always do and as I always will, I spoke directly and frankly with the Chinese president to highlight Canadian values, Canadian interests, and to demonstrate that we're looking to be constructive in areas like fighting climate change and even in trade, but we need to see respect for the rules-based order, respect for international law, and respect for Canadian values.
I know your government unveiled the Indo-Pacific trade strategy. Does that mean you will be making a trip to China and to India in the new year? Actually,
the Indo-Pacific strategy is more than just a trade strategy. Yes, it has trade elements in it in terms of diversifying our trade throughout the region. Much of Canada's trade remains with China, but the opportunities in Vietnam, in the Philippines, in Indonesia, in Malaysia, and India itself are massive and significant, and we're going to make sure we're investing in those. But it also features security participation. It involves investments in infrastructure. It involves better diplomatic ties, deeper political ties. These are the kinds of things throughout the region that will benefit Canadian jobs, Canadian growth. One of the exciting things that I've talked about with a lot of leaders around the world, particularly in the Indo-Pacific, is interest in Canadian minerals that are produced cleaner and more responsibly than from other parts of the world. And there is an increasing desire by big companies and by consumers around the world to know where the ingredients in everything from their food to their cars are coming from. And Canada is positioned to be a reliable, clean, responsible supplier to Asia of raw materials, of manufactured goods that is very exciting. And this is a moment that is going to be good for Canada, but good for the world, to see more Canada connected with the world.
When we return.
It's happened with you, it's happened with Mr. Morneau, it's happened with Ms. Ng. Why does it keep happening?
From my perspective, it sucks.
When a conversation with the Prime Minister continues.